It's time to move on to our final challenge for the first season of MixMasters. The final stage in our investigation into mixtures and solutions, the point of no return. But let's recap first. In challenge number 1, we started to define mixtures and solutions. We learned how both of these include more than one part and are, well, mixed together. We looked specifically at mechanical mixtures and learned how a mechanical mixture can be picked apart and put back into its individual parts. Challenge number 2 had us looking at layers. It had us try to figure out what would dissolve into what and how certain things, like oil and water, don't like to mix. We looked at homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures. Our most recent challenge, number 3, had us experimenting with the particle model of matter. It showed us how a mixture can change its state by adding or removing energy to it, and then return to that state after the energy is returned. Many of our examples up to this point have been examples of reversible change. Challenge number 4 changes it up to the point of no return. It's about irreversible changes, where through a number of different ways, our mixture turns into something new or something different, and there's no way for us to go back. The challenge? Show me an irreversible change. How that is entirely up to you. Now, there are a number of ways that you could show this in a challenge. You don't have to invent new ways of doing it. In fact, I don't want you to. I want you to find and follow a recipe. Our challenges right now have been qualitative experiments, which means that you've been looking at the different qualities of the mixture. Color, texture, state of matter, how it looks. In this one, I want you to include quantitative properties, which is why you need to follow a recipe. You need to include the amounts of materials used. You need to note the temperature if you can and record the times that it took to mix or make so that we could potentially recreate your experiment on our own. That's a big part of science, being able to reproduce it. So here's what to do. Number 1, find a recipe. It could be on a box, on a package, online, a family recipe, or from a cookbook. It might be something that you eat or something that you've been wanting to make, slime or elephant toothpaste. 2, I want you to write out the recipe as you go or after and document each step. Draw or take a picture of the different stages along the way. 3, include measurements, times, temperatures. 4, include descriptions of how it looks, tastes, smells, and so on. Don't taste the slime, come on now. Do your best to explain why your recipe is irreversible. What was achieved? How was it achieved? Was it done by mixing, heat, or a chemical change? Just do your best. When you're done for this one, I want you to make a presentation of your final product. Make a report, a slideshow, and show me and the class what you created. You have until December 17th to get this in. When we get back after the December break, we will crown the very first MixMaster for eSchool. Well, where do we get started? Well, normally in my classroom, at this time of year, we make candy. We make candy canes, syrup, taffies, chocolates, and more. We find and follow recipes online and spend the day making them. Last year, we made candy from a distance. We did elephant toothpaste from a distance. We had kids making brownies, cookies, their own elephant toothpaste, ice cream, Mentos and Coke, and so much more. There's a lot of examples. Those are just some ideas. Are you ready? Okay. This is our final challenge, so go get mixing.